Welcome to Entrust Music Service and session 4 of our whole class guitar programme. Thank you for joining me today. Before we start, you need to make sure your guitar is roughly in tune. The open strings should sound like this. If your strings are not quite in tune, go back to the Entrust YouTube channel and find the instructional video there on how to tune your guitar using a guitar app. And remember, as we go through today's lesson, you can pause and rewind the video at any time you want to if you want to have another go at the warm-up exercises or the pieces. For today's warm-up, we're going to do a short exercise which gets your fingers used to using the frets a little bit more. We're going to be starting on an open string, for example the E, and we're going to be putting our first finger on the first fret, our second finger or middle finger on the second fret, and our third finger on the third fret. If this is too much of a stretch for you, you can always put your little finger on the third fret. And what we're going to do, we're just going to go up the chromatic scale. So we're going to go open, first fret, second and third. So I'm going to use walking fingers I and M to play my notes. You could use your thumb or you can also use a pick. So I'm going to play the notes first and you are going to copy me back, and we're going to do it on the open E string, the B string and then the G string using open, fret 1, fret 2 and fret 3. Okay, off we go. And now your turn. And we're going to repeat that one. Your turn. Okay, now we're going to do the same exercise starting on the B string, so the second string in. Your turn. And the B string again. Your turn. And now we're going to do it on the open G string. Your turn. And again. Well done, I hope you followed that. Now to finish off, you're going to play with me. We're going to do all three strings, so starting on the E, going down to B, and G. So try and play that with me. Off we go. Okay, I hope you found that useful. It's a really good exercise to get your fingers used to moving up and down the frets. Okay, so now we've done that, we can move on to our pieces. Okay, our first piece today is called Sword Dance, and it uses the notes E, B, A and G. So before we start, we're going to have a recap on what the notes look like on the stave and where they are on the guitar. The first note that the piece uses is an E. So this is a reminder of where it is on the stave. The E sits in the top space. That E is our open E string, so our high E. The second note in the piece is the note B. This B sits on the middle line of the 5 lines on the stave. This B is our open B, so our second string in. The next note in the piece is an A. So it sits in that second space up on the stave. This is the A where we hold our second finger on the second fret of the G string. And the final note that the piece uses is a G, which sits on the second line up. And this is our open G. The first half of this piece uses minims, and we hold a minim for 2 beats each. To remind you of what a minim looks like, I've got one here to show you. So it's this, so it's an open note with a stem, and we hold that for 2 beats. So the first 2 bars of the piece go like this. It goes E, B, A, B. Okay, why don't you try playing that with me? So we hold them for 2 beats each. So E, 2, B, 2, A, 2, B, 2. And the second line goes like this. It goes E, B, A, and then to G. Okay, let's try that with me. So E, B, A, and G. The third line repeats the first line, so it's E, B, A, and B, and then we finish on an E and B, and then we hold the final E for a semi-breve. Now that's the first half of the piece. The second half of this piece uses the same notes in the same sequence, but we hold the notes for crotchets. And just a reminder, these are crotchets, so it's a filled-in note with a stem. So we hold these for 1 beat. The pattern of notes is the same, so the first line is going to go E, B, A, B. But we play 2 crotchets on each note, like this. So we're holding the notes for the same value, but we're playing 2 of them at a time. Let's see how you get on. I hope you enjoyed playing along to Sword Dance. For our second piece today, we're going to try something a little different. So far, we have been playing melodies using single notes. Another way we can play on the guitar is by using chords. So today we're going to learn the chord G. So I'm going to show you what this looks like on a chord box. This is a standard chord box, so we can learn where we put our fingers. So we have 6 lines across. Each of these lines represents one of your strings. The line on the left is your low E string, and the line on the right is the high E string. So it goes E, A, D, G, B, and E. Our rows here represent the frets. So I can see here I've drawn a circle there in the 3rd fret of my high E string, and that's where I'm going to put my finger. I've also drawn some crosses and circles at the top, and it's not to play noughts and crosses. The crosses mean that we do not play those strings. So for this chord, we are not going to play the string E or A. And the O represents an open string, so we don't need to put our fingers on any frets. So to show you that on the guitar, I'm going to put my 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of my high E string. And I'm going to play the B, G, and D strings without any frets. So we're going to hear those as open strings. Now to strum, you can either use your thumb, or if you have a pick and you want to use that, you can use that. Okay, so that is our chord G. So why don't you try that with me now? So we're going to put our 3rd finger on our 3rd fret on the high E string, and we're going to pick the strings D, G, B, and E like this. Well done. The music on the screen for this song is also going to look a little bit different. As we're going to be playing chords instead of a melody, the notation is going to show us the rhythmic pattern only, and the piece consists of 3 different patterns, and I'm going to show you what they look like. The first pattern, it looks familiar, but so you might be able to work it out. So this is how it's going to look on the screen. The stave looks the same, but we have boxes here, so it isn't representing a single note. I've written G there, which represents the chord G. So I have a crotchet, can we see? It's like a filled in note with a stem. I have 2 crotchets, and this represents a minim, which we hold for 2 beats. So it's crotchet, crotchet, minim. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to strum on that pattern. Let me show you. There we're going to go. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. The second rhythmic pattern that we see looks like this. So it has 4 crotchets, again on the chord G. Okay, so we're going to play 1 chord for every beat like this. And the final rhythmic pattern is slightly different again, a little bit trickier. We're going to play a crotchet chord, and this squiggle here is a crotchet rest, so a beat's silence. Then another chord and another beat silence. So it'll sound like this. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll show you that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this piece is called Gee Whiz. Let's see if you can try strumming along at the right time. Good luck. So, did you manage to strum along to Gee Whiz? I hope you enjoyed having a go at your first chords. So this week you could practice the pattern that we used in our warm-up exercise, and you could extend that over every string, right down to your bass strings. And you can also keep practicing that strumming pattern to make sure you can get it nice and even. Remember, you can access this video at any time that you want to have another go at playing along with the tracks. Also, if you haven't done already, don't forget to click the subscribe button, and you can join me next week for another whole class ensemble session. I look forward to seeing you again soon.